Hello and welcome back to another episode of IB or Not to IB. In this episode we will be discussing English in the IB Diploma. The main parts of the English course, the main pieces of assessment, are the IOP, the IOC, the written assignment and the exams at the end, paper 1 and 2. There is of course an SL and an HL option which will both be discussed in this episode.
The first part of the English course that we do here is the IOP, or Individual Oral Presentation. This presentation is done on one of the three texts that are studied in terms 1 and 2. This presentation is focused on the Englishy things which are discussed, not the content of which works as such. There's also a question section at the end wherein the questions are proposed by the class to indicate the marker whether or not you really understand what you're talking about, as opposed to copying something from the internet. The IOP is supposed to last for 15 minutes in total, 12 minutes of the actual presentation and 3 minutes worth of questions.
The written assignment is an assignment that is written in the last few weeks of Year 11 and the first term and a half of Year 12. It is to be written on a topic of your own choice, about one of the works in translation, the second unit that we study within the English course. These works are all translated from another language, and when we first study them, we do an interactive oral which focuses on the cultural context, so that we are aware of why some decisions in the book are made, or references to the culture of the author. From there, we do some practice written assignments on given topics in preparation for the real one.
The IOC, or Individual Oral Commentary, is a presentation of 10 minutes, which you only have 20 minutes to prepare for. This presentation is to be a commentary of an unknown extract of 20 to 30 lines. For SL, these lines can be drawn from one of two texts, whereas for HL, it will be from one poetic work studied. For HL, there will then be a guided discussion of 10 minutes immediately after the actual IOC. This adds one more layer of complexity for HL students, as they have to know three works very well, as opposed to SL students only having to know two.
The English paper 1 is another commentary similar to the IOC, the difference being that this one is written as opposed to spoken. For HLs, this will be completed as just a normal commentary, with an excerpt from an unknown text. For SLs, similar to the IOCs, they receive 2 guiding questions, so they have a slightly easier time completing the task. For SLs, the exam goes for 1.5 hours, and for the HLs, they have a 2-hour exam.
In paper 2, you'll write a compare and contrast essay in which you will demonstrate your understanding of literary conventions of the literary genre you study. These genres could include poetry, drama, novels, or other prose, but at St. Peter's we normally study drama. Similar to paper 1, SL students will have 1.5 hours to complete this paper, whilst the HLs will have 2 hours.
In the English course, the first couple of assignments are purely formative. Before you can think that you can slack off, just remember that the knowledge and skills you learn doing this are very important for the IOC and IOP. And again, thank you for tuning into IB or Not to IB. See you next time.